the planning for where to locate the operations facilities should start from what are organization's objectives. Transport facilities. So here the company has to look for the availability of proper infrastructure and transport facilities. So here availability of services like water, electricity, gas, etc. are necessary for the production unit. Hello everyone, I am Nikhilavati S, Faculty of Commerce, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. I welcome you all for the sessions on Production and Operations Management. In today's session, let us start with the second chapter, that is Plant Location and Plant Layout. In this session, we will be discussing what is plant location and layout is all about, and also what are the factors affecting the plant location as well as some of the principles of plant layout. First, let us see the meaning of plant location and plant layout. So, a plant is a place where men, material, money, machinery are brought together for manufacturing products. So, a plant here refers to a manufacturing industry. Then the objective is to minimize the cost of production can be achieved only when the plant is of the right size and at the right place where the economies of all kinds of production are available. So here it's all about, it's a factory location or a plant or the manufacturing unit where all kinds of resources are brought together in order to make the production process. Production involves the conversion of raw materials or all the inputs like men, material or other labor, etc. that are put together in order to, in a conversion process, to produce the outputs that are finished goods which are supposed to market. The main objective of integrating all kinds of resources or inputs, it is to reduce the cost of production, and which can be achieved only when the plant is of the right size and at a right place. So next, the meaning and definition of plant location and plant layout. So here the planning for where to locate the operations facilities should start from what are organizations' objectives. So here the planning of setting up where we should set up a factory or the manufacturing unit. So this choosing of location will be based on the organization's objectives, priorities and goals, and the strategies required to achieve the same in the general socio-economic, techno, business and also legal environment that is currently available and expected to be available in the long-term future. So this selection of where to locate the manufacturing unit also depends on based on the environmental factors, whether it is business environment, technological environment or legal environment, and also it primarily depends on the organization's objective, priorities. Now let us see what are the factors affecting plant location decision. That means in order to decide which place we should select for setting up our manufacturing industry, some of the factors which are need to be considered are the factors affecting plant location decision. So these include nature of input, nature of output, etc. So let us discuss one by one. Nature of input, that means the kinds of raw materials that are needed for the production. So again it depends on the type of products that the company wishes to produce, whether it is a product or a service. So here the nature of input includes the raw materials. It is beneficial for the company to set up its factory near to the raw materials. If the transportation of raw materials cost is higher than the cost of transporting finished goods, then it is beneficial if the company sets up its factory near to the raw materials. Say for example, a sugar factory can be set up in a place where the nearby places are producing sugar cane in a more quantity. And also they should check for the availability of fuel and power. So nowadays, due to the increase in the use of electricity or electric power the need. It's not that the plant location decision always depends on the availability of fossil fuels, but with the increased use of electric power, at least here the company has to check where they can get availability of sufficient electric connection or a power. It is essential that there should be sufficient availability of electric power continuously with reasonable rates. They should check for the availability of water. Water is needed for processing, say for example in paper industries, etc. So, and also it is always needed or in some of the chemical industries, and also it is needed for sanitation and cleaning purpose. So, there should be proper availability of water resources. Then the nature of output. So, here the output means the finished goods that the company wishes to produce. Either it may be a product or a services. Say for example, if we take the example of service industry, then the examples like schools, colleges, hospitals, banks, these are set up near to the customers or where there is a more number of people available, or it is near to the market. So, in order to attract the customers or the people. So, if it is a manufacturing industry, so then it depends whether it is like some of the companies, if they are producing some of the products which are easily spoiled within a few amount of time or few days of time, then such companies can set up their industries near to the market. Or some of the industries which produces automobiles or some of the chemicals, then it is better if they are set up their factory near to the raw materials. Then nature of technology employed. So for some of the industries, it also depends on the type of technology that they are using for production. Sometimes the conversion process and the technology employed also affects the decision of selecting a location, because some of the industries may produce harmful chemicals, and some of the running of technologies may be unfriendly to the people and the environment. So it is better for them and those companies to set up their factory away from the where there is more concentration of people or the population. They can set up their factory in remote areas or the industrial areas. For example, the nuclear plant or airport, etc. They should also check for the availability of laborers and their skill. It's not only just availability of stable labor force, but also having skilled laborers. So, laborers and their skilled laborers, and here the company can look for those areas in which they can get proper availability of labor at reasonable rates. So, adequate number of labor with skills should be available for the manufacturing unit, as the company wishes to produce goods and services throughout the year without any kind of disturbances. Next, transport facilities. So here the company has to look for the availability of proper infrastructure and transport facilities. So the basic mode of transportations including rail, water or airlines, etc. So all these are necessary in order to, it again depends on the nature of or the type of products that the company wishes to produce. So proper availability of transport facilities also affects the decision of plant location, as the main objective of every company is to reduce the overall cost. Availability of services. So here availability of services like water, electricity, gas, etc. are necessary for the production unit. And also other facilities like drainage or waste disposable systems and the communication system in that area also affects the decision of or choosing a location. Then suitability of land and climate. So again, the suitability of land and climate is also important. The temperature and the climatic conditions of that particular area. Say for example, for cotton industries, they required humidity kind of climate or climatic condition, as the more temperature will make the thread to break. So based on the type of the product that the company wishes to produce, again they have to look for suitability of land and climate for that particular product or a service. Then opportunity for expansion. So there should be enough opportunity for expansion and also to install advanced technology, and if the company wishes to expand its business, there should be sufficient space. So the location should be flexible enough to cover the expansion program. Next we have is political, cultural and economic situations and regional regulations. So here, how is the political stability of in that particular area or the land, and also the cultural differences. Again, it affects the kind of products that you wishes to market to the people, and the economic situation and regional regulations. So if they have political stability is also important, which affects a plant location, because a plant is located, it's for the longer term. The investment that is made in a manufacturing industry will be large. So always the company wishes to spend its span of life, or continue its business for a longer period of time. So it is important to look at the political as well as cultural and economic situation in that particular area. So next we have is special grants, regional tax and import barriers. Here the company, while selecting a plant location, it has to look for the special grants if there are any. Say for example, the central governments or the local authorities provide the subsidies if you set up your factory in SEZ zones. So special economic zones. So in that way also it can benefit the company. Then it has to look for the regional tax as well as import and export barriers. Let us move on to the next topic, that is plant layout principles. So here plant layout means arranging all the required resources in a factory or the various parts of the factory in order to make the production process more efficient and effective. Imagine a plant layout as a blueprint which shows where everything goes in a plant. Say for example, starting from the machineries and equipment and to the workers and the materials. A well-designed plant layout helps for the smooth production, reduces cost and also increases safety. The plant layout principles includes integration. Integration here means arranging all kinds of necessary inputs that are needed for a factory. Say for example, it may be equipments, machineries or men or other raw materials or money. So all these inputs are integrated in order to make the production process smoothly. So here it ensures that everything or every input is connected logically, so that the production process is not interrupted anywhere. For example, imagine a car manufacturing company. The welding area where all parts of the car are joined together should be close to the assembly line where the car is put together. So this makes the process from the first to next process makes it faster, and it helps for the production process to be more faster and effective. Next we have is minimum movement and material handling. So this principle aims to reduce the time that is spent by movement of the materials and the workforce. So it reduces or try to reduce the time taken by the materials and the workers. So here the idea is to keep everything in one place so that the processes gets more faster and in a smooth way, or unnecessary movement of workers as well as the materials can be avoided. Moving things around too much can lead to the production delays or any kind of accidents, or it takes more time. For example, in a bakery, it makes more sense to store the flour, sugar and other ingredients near to the mixing area so that it avoids unnecessary movement of the workers from the storage place to mixing area. So next is smooth and continuous flow, and this principle stresses that all the things should be arranged in such a way that in the production process, no process is disturbed or caused any kind of interruptions. So without any kind of bottlenecks, the production should happen continuously. So that is possible with proper organization of resources and the process. Then cubic space utilization. That means this principle stresses on the fact that in a plant layout, there should be enough space and proper planning of space should be made. and proper utilization of the space. Say for example, in a room where you keep the inventories. So instead of only stocking the inventory on the floor, some of the racks can be prepared even on the walls till to the ceiling, so that some of more items can be stored there. So in that way, you should make use of the space available in a maximum way. So next is safe and improved environment. So here the plant layout should be made in such a way that for all the workers and the laborers there is sufficient safe and also improved environment for them. So wherever necessary, if you are going to set up a machinery which is in quite dangerous, or it can produce some chemicals, so then you can give a board that it is the restricted access, or without proper skills and knowledge all the workers cannot enter to that particular area, like that. And also there should be proper ventilation, lighting, air condition, and also clean environment. For example, in a chemical plant, it is important to have good ventilation so that it is easy to remove any kind of fumes and odors. And at last we have is flexibility. So flexibility here means the plant should be arranged in such a way that there should be enough scope for any kind of adjustments that can be made without any hassle or increased cost. This is especially important to those kind of industries where the products and the production process changes regularly. Say for example, in an electronics factory, new models of smartphones and also laptops are produced frequently. If the machines and workstations are adopted flexibly, then it is easy to adopt new models and produce the new models of mobile phones or smartphones. Thus, the principles of plant layout is all about proper utilization of space and enhancing safety, and also reducing the overall cost of production. So, this was all about plant location and factors affecting plant location, and also some of the principles of plant layout. Hope you all have understood. Thank you.